Pessoal, sejam muito bem-vindos a mais um episódio de Fallout. Não se esqueça de curtir o vídeo, gente, se inscrever no canal. E bora, tá jogando. Então, aqui em Sanctuary eu tenho que achar o Presto. O Presto tá aqui. Ô Presto, você me ajuda a invadir o Instituto? Diagramas.
Can you take a look at these schematics? A scientist named Virgil said they could get me inside the Institute.
The Institute? Why in the world would you want to mess around with them?
They kidnapped my baby.
Damn. That's some bad business. Even for them. We'll give you whatever help we can. Don't worry about that. Now, assuming you could build this thing, what exactly does it do?
The Institute uses teleportation to get in and out. This machine can hijack their signal and send me instead.
Teleportation? For real? Wow. That would explain a lot about how the Institute manages to operate. If anyone can make heads or tails of those plans, it'd be Sturgis. I haven't found anything yet that he couldn't build a fix. I'll let you know if I hear of any settlements that need our help. In the meantime, make sure to offer help to anyone that needs it. That can only help our cause.
Beleza, cadê os Sturgers?
Rather be off murdering a pint. This'll do.
Tá aqui. Sturgers.
What's up?
Preston thought you might be able to figure out these plans for me.
Sure thing. Let's see what you've got.
Do you think you can build this?
Wow, what a mess. Looks like encrypted RF transmissions. Okay, so that gets routed through... What the hell? Teleportation. This is some pretty crazy shit. You sure it's for real?
It's real. I got it from an ex-Institute scientist.
Seriously? I didn't know you could be an ex-Institute anything and still be breathing. Anyway, the eggheads never think about the nuts and bolts of actually making something work. But, looks like it's all here. Yeah, I'm gonna need some time to study this thing. Handwriting's pretty hard to make out. But, you can get started on what he calls a stabilized reflector platform. It'll need some pretty high-grade metals. But it's basically not that different than the lining of a jet engine or something like that.
Can you give me a list of what I'll need to build this platform?
Yeah, sure. Here's a list of what you'll need for the first piece. I'm pretty sure we've got all that at Sanctuary, if you want to build it there. While you're working on that, I'll get busy figuring out how to actually build the rest of this thing. Keep in mind, I can already see this is going to take a crazy amount of juice. Like if you had a spare nuclear reactor handy, we could probably use it. And it's going to be big. So find a nice open building site with lots of power available.
Energia a gente tem. Construa a plataforma refletora. Construir aqui, né? Especial. Plataforma refletora. Nossa.
Hey, Sturgis.
How's it going? Did you find a good spot to build your signal interceptor?
Decifrou diagramas?
Did you figure out the rest of Virgil's schematics?
I think so. Best I can tell until we actually try to put it together. Here's a list of 3 things that may be harder to find. I think I'll be able to pull together everything else we're gonna need. I'll meet you over at the building site and see if we can actually make this thing work.
Beleza.
Thanks, Sturgis. I'll get right on this.
Good deal. One thing to keep in mind while you're building this, it all needs to be wired together so all the pieces can talk to each other. I'll see you over at the building site. Good luck.
Maybe constantly trying to kill us, but you fishing for a snug. Relax for a second.
Another day of hard work.
Vamos lá, o que estamos precisando? Estamos precisando dessa parabólica. Precisamos desse computador aqui. Precisamos disso. Só? Acho que eu preciso ligar, né? Agora eu preciso de um poste. É miscelânea, né? Não. É desses aqui que eu preciso. Não, peraí, tem um fio ali. Será que eu consigo? Não, vou ter que construir o poste aqui mesmo. Não dá, tá muito longe. Se eu pôr aqui. Ele alcança. Alcança. Vamos ver até onde vai. Acho que vai ter que ficar aqui mesmo. Daqui eu consigo puxar pra lá. Não, tem que criar mais um poste. Ok, agora temos que... Temos que pegar aqueles monte de motor que eu fiz. Construir. Ai, ai, minha doguinha começou a latir de novo. Caramba. Caramba, quanto de energia isso aí precisa, hein? Deixar em 100. Agora sim. Voltando aqui. Cadê os Sturgers? Ah, ele já tá ali.
Everything looks good on my end. Ready to see if this thing actually works?
Você está primeiro?
Shouldn't we test it first?
I wish we could, but we've only got the one frequency code. There's no way to test it without actually jacking into the Institute signal. And as soon as we do that, we've used our one and only chance. As soon as the Institute figures out what we did, and I gotta believe those brainiacs won't be caught napping twice, that code we've got is useless.
Então tá, né?
Let's do this.
You sure? Okay. Your part is simple. Just step onto the platform. I'll start scanning for an Institute signal to lock onto. Then, I fire her up and we see what happens.
Deixa eu aproveitar e beber água.
I'm ready when you are. Don't worry about it. Got plenty of more things to tweak.
E lá vamos nós.
Yes?
Hey, Sturgis.
Everything looks good on my end. You ready to see if this thing actually works?
Let's do this.
You sure? Okay. Your part is simple. Just step onto the platform. I'll start scanning for an Institute signal to lock onto. Then, I fire her up and we see what happens.
E lá vamos
Just
nós.
get on the platform. I'll do the rest. Okay, hold real still. I don't want any corruption of the molecular beam. Oh yeah, by the way, I figured this was a golden opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute, and what they're up to. Yeah, this holotape's all set with a program that will scan their network and download anything it finds. Uh-oh. Yeah, we better hurry. And don't worry about that tubing wiggling around. It's just there for decoration. Okay. Scanning for the Institute signal. Tracking RF. And... got it. Hold on to your butt.
As coisas se mexendo é só decorativo. E entrei no Instituto. De acesso.
I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I'm known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator.
Eita. Então, meu disfarce já era.
I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
E lá vamos nós. Outro elevador? Não parece ser muito eficiente esse tipo de elevador não, sem parede.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean. I've been looking for you for so long.
Who are you?
Sean, it's me. I'm your mom.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Sean, Daddy's gone, but I'm here. Mommy's here now.
What's going on? Father? Father!
It'll be okay, Sean. Mommy's here
I
now.
don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here. Help me!
Who
Father?
is Father?
Father, help me!
Where is
He's
he?
trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
This is insane. All of it.
The degree of trauma you're experiencing right now is understandable. Please, just try to relax. I know this is all difficult to take in.
I'll make this very simple. Where is my son?
He's here, in the Institute. Closer than you think. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarding. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the sun you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality. And here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
But why? Why take a child? Why take you?
Ah, now that's the question, isn't it? Why me? At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
Só um minutinho. Ai, voltamos.
Human synths? Really?
Human-like synths. A great distinction. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
And you've been down here the whole time?
I have. Yes.
Acabou já? Então, esse é o nosso filho.
Don't have the key. What's going on here?
Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Ai, ai. Acho que deu errado o diálogo.
Father. That's your name? Your title?
Father is my unofficial title. It's what I've come to mean to the people of the Institute. Just as you are a parent to your son. To Sean.
Just help me understand what's going on here.
I promised answers, and answers you shall have. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you. After all this time, it's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
really you? After all this time.
Yes. It's true. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, 60 years? That is the reality. And here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
Hell of a story, but I guess it does make sense.
I'm glad you're willing to accept the truth. It's quite encouraging. At that time, the year 2227, the scientific...
Cortar essas conversas que a gente já
So they
teve,
followed.
né?
I think I see where this is going.
Then perhaps you already understand why it was necessary for the Institute to acquire me. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course, but it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, even in their attempt
Aqui ele já
to
tá.
defend the Institute, I was exactly... I am the...
Ele já falou essa parte.
Sean. It's really you.
It really is. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Your father. He never got to see you grow up.
Yes. What happened to him was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems what happened to him was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept the collateral damage to a minimum. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So, you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
They need your help, Sean. It's rough up there, to say the least.
Oh, we've tried that. Surprise. The Institute once tried to help create a stabilized Commonwealth government. It ended in bickering, infighting. It was a disaster. No. We look after our own now. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
Yes, that's what I want.
I know. I know you've been through so much. I'm pleased to see it has not impaired your judgment. Forgive me. I'd assume that after everything I'm sure you've seen above ground, you would be more than a bit biased against us. There is much to be done. You'll need time to acclimate yourself, a chance to become acquainted with our procedures.
Is all that really necessary? What's there to learn?
For now, it is enough that you understand that the Institute really is devoted to the betterment of humanity. The Institute is now your home, as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in facilities, Dr. Ao in SRB, Dr. Holdren in bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in advanced systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
Beleza, agora entramos de vez no Instituto. Aí eu posso pegar as coisas.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive servo.
That's the third primary drive breakdown this month. As far as I'm concerned, the phase-out on these older models can't come soon enough.
Oh, I don't know. Most of them have lasted long past their projected lifespans. If you ask me, they were built pretty well.
I can't argue with that. Even so, I'm ready to see the full Gen 3 roll out.
There we go. All set. Unit, you can return to duty.
Thanks again.
Of course. We're all looking forward to working with
Excuse me, Doctor. They weren't kidding. You really are here. Well, all right. I'm Allie Fillmore. You can think of me as the Institute's chief engineer. When Father told us about you, I could hardly believe it. You've been through so much, I think most people would have just given up. If you don't mind my asking, what was it that kept you going all that time? I just wanted to find my son and keep him safe. Now that you've found him, I hope you're proud of the great man he grew up to be. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the facilities division, and then I'll answer any questions you might have afterward. As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems running smoothly. We maintain and upgrade all of the systems that make it possible to live and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting as some of the other departments, but it's at least as important. So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father, does that mean you're on board? On board with what? The Institute, of course. Sean implied you operated on a level, if not equal, and at least similar to the rest of us. Curious. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the facilities division, I'm happy to discuss it.
It must be a challenge to meet the power demands of a place like this.
Absolutely. We scratch and scrape for every precious ounce of voltage that we can. Over the years, we've learned a few tricks that help supplement our power budget. When necessary, we can tap into select sources on the surface. We take only what we need, of course. Fortunately, Advanced Systems is always working on new solutions to generate more energy. It's a good thing, too, because the demand is always increasing. You don't even want to know what a single use of the molecular dematerializer consumes.
Dr. Fillmore.
Hi there. Something I can help you with?
Só isso você não vai me dar nenhuma.
I'd like
Quest?
to know about the people in your division.
Of course. Dr. Lawrence Higgs is our mechanical engineer. He oversees the major life support and security systems. Power distribution is Dr. Evan Watson's area of expertise, and Dr. Newton Oberly is in charge of food and housing. He coordinates with bioscience to ensure that our meals are balanced for optimal nutrition. We also make use of a number of synth units for low-priority maintenance and labor.
Allie.
Hey, what do you need?
I'm good for now. Thanks.
Goodbye, then.
Não era só isso.
I hear we're about to get a new food supplement.
Biociência. O que temos por aqui?
So I've had to put everything else to one side. I wonder how the Warren family is.
Aqui é só um depósito.
Young Wally must be close to 10 years old right now. It's remarkable that any child can survive for so long.
Yes.
I try not to think too much about it. We have more than enough.
Não, nada demais.
Most people are the last ones, so they die fast.
Got it.
Eita. Aqui é o lado quebrado do Instituto. A hortinha.
Dr. Holdren's synth gorilla project is showing promising results. You're here.
Hi, Doc.
Glad you made it.
Welcome. So good to have you here. Dr. Clayton Holdren, head of the Bioscience Division. I can't wait for you to see the work we're doing. It's truly amazing.
Que trabalho.
What?
I was just about to explain that. As the name implies, the Bioscience Division specializes in fields of study such as botany, genetics, and medicine. Our most important directive is to ensure the health and well-being of everyone in the Institute. To that end, we cultivate highly specialized breeds of flora for use in food and medicine. We've even started to explore the idea of synthetic animal life. You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project at this point, but the potential is exciting nonetheless.
The gorillas are synths too?
They are indeed. Judging by your reaction, we've done a good job making them seem lifelike. The initiative is still in its early stages, but the prospects are very exciting. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is, but I have to ask, have you decided whether you'll join us?
I'm an outsider. Would there even be a place for me here?
Even if science isn't your passion, there are plenty of ways to contribute. Our projects sometimes require an agent who can work on the surface to observe and gather information. From what I've heard, you are both fearless and resourceful. I think you'd be ideal for that kind of role. In any case, I imagine you'll want to continue looking around. Or, if you prefer, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Is there anything I can do to help out?
There might be. Tell you what, you get settled in, and check back with me later. I'll see what I can find out.
Beleza. Deixa eu só ver aqui as missões. Cadê? Eu tinha... Onde achar cura lá pro grandão. Depois eu acho. Bem, então eles estão fazendo animais sintéticos também. É bem bonitinho.
Dr. Watson can be a little obsessive when it comes to rules and policies.
Vermelhinho
It's
aqui.
an honor to have you here, ma'am.
No visible reaction to the K-14 compound. We'll start the next trial. The dosage will be much larger this time.
Advanced Assistance. Aqui.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. What is she even testing?
Nothing. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
Aqui é de armas.
Well,
Rushed work is sloppy at best and deadly at worst.
Dá pra avançar aqui.
Excuse me, Doctor?
Ah, it's you. You're here then. Yes, I know who you are. We all do. While I'm sure Father is very happy that you're here, I do hope it doesn't interrupt our work.
What is it you're working on?
Advanced systems, special projects. You've seen the boy, Synth, already. We've been hard at work on him for quite a while now. Oh, before I forget, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute.
Agradeço.
I'm sure that will come in handy.
Given that the relay is the only way to access the Institute, handy is something of an understatement. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Now, unless there's something else, I really do need to get back to work.
I'd like a progress report on your division, if you don't mind.
Taking your new appointment in stride, I see. Very well. We've shifted resources off of other projects, like the Child Synth, to focus on Phase 3. I'm hoping that the above-ground efforts are successful. I understand those depend heavily on you.
Beleza. O que tem aqui? Tem uma cama que eu não posso dormir. Aqui eu vou ganhar um quarto também? Agora, o que acontece? Eu vou economizar bastante tempo com viagens. Que eu posso... Eita, lagzinho, lag. Nossa, que lag, mano.
It must make you proud to see all that Father has
Eu vou
done.
economizar bastante tempo. Por causa que é lá em cima. Agora eu posso sempre vir aqui por meio do mapa, teleportando, e tá tudo resolvido. Eu acho que eu tenho que subir.
I wish I had more time to spend with Quentin, but I can't be in two places at once. I haven't been able to crack that one yet.
I must be the luckiest synth in the Institute.
Tá, aqui eu já sei que também não é meu quarto. Tem que subir mais?
Father is more than just our leader. He is our creator.
Greetings, ma'am.
Tem dono também. Cara, é bem bonitinho aqui por dentro. Bem, eu não sei pra onde eu tenho que ir. Opa, tem água. Vamos descer.
Is it true food supplement 77 has been discontinued?
That is correct.
That was my favorite one.
Eu acho que é aqui.
Just as you gave life to Father, he gave life to many of us.
Tô meio perdido, peraí. Tem que usar o holodisco, mas é aqui embaixo. Lá em cima? Bem, aqui não tem nenhum computador perto.
Terminal's got this locked. Got it.
Nossa, de primeira. Qual que eu tenho que pôr? Não, nenhum desses.
All systems nominal.
Será que é esse? Registro de acessos. Relatório de incidentes. Observações pessoais. Não, não é aqui que eu tenho que vir.
Well, you can tell him that I intend to speak to Father about these unannounced security sweeps of yours. Ransacking
Scanning unknown identity.
To knock some heads
Mankind redefined.
Beleza, achei
Maybe I should take some courses with me.
Hey, Doc, please
So,
don't. There's enough
here you
friction
are.
as it is
Dr.
between
Naos,
us and pretty
Acting
much all
Director
the
of
other
Synth Retention
departments.
Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity. I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there?
Why? Don't you trust me?
Oh, it's nothing personal. I don't trust anyone. Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the synth retention. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
Why would synths want to escape?
Synths do not want. They might look like human beings, but they're machines. As to why they're escaping? That matter is currently under investigation. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered them already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
I'm no stranger to combat.
Even so, a Courser should be more than a match for any single combatant. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production line. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
You mentioned that coursers undergo special training. Tell me more about it.
The SRB constantly monitors our Gen 3 synth population, looking for specific traits. Those who show tenacity, fearlessness, and independence undergo a rigorous training regimen. We teach them armed and unarmed combat, investigative techniques, psychology, and mechanical skills. Those who pass a final evaluation become coursers. The rest have their memories wiped and return to their former duties.
I know it'll be a difficult adjustment for you, but try to
Beleza.
remember that synths aren't people.
Esse aqui é o caçador.
Excuse me.
Report anything suspicious to the SRB.
Bem, mais alguma coisa que dá pra fazer aqui dentro, por enquanto?
Reporting status. All functions normal.
Must make you proud to see all that Father has done.
Hey there.
Welcome to the Institute, ma'am. Be on the lookout for unusual symptoms.
Oh, there's a clean
Que é o andar dos caçadores.
visual receptors malfunctioning. Can you not see the grime and dust?
My apologies, sir. I was issued a defective cleansing.
Don't make excuses. You're clearly defective, and I intend to report this. Perhaps after you disassemble, we can use your components to make something that's actually useful.
Yes, sir.
Pronto, cheguei aonde eu comecei. Cara, vocês bem que poderiam dar um quarto pra mim, né?
Jammed. Sean, about this synth.
You mean the child? It's a fascinating project, really. There are issues to be solved, of course, but we've made remarkable progress.
It seems like a strange choice. On more than one level.
I can understand how it might seem that way. It is something new. New discoveries are always welcome. I'll make sure it's brought back online in the near future. You'll have an opportunity to interact with him further. But I'll admit I'm curious. As a parent looking for a child, looking for the younger version of me. What do you think? Do you think you could love him? Like you would a real boy?
Seriously, you really believe a human could love a synth?
That's a difficult question. I suppose it depends on how closely we've managed to mimic human behavior and emotions. Yours is a unique position. You may be the only one that's truly able to answer these questions right now. I wouldn't claim to know everything you're feeling, but if in some small way the boy's presence can help, I hope you'll keep an open mind.
Beleza, então pessoal, vamos ficar por aqui. Não se esqueça de curtir o vídeo, se inscrever no canal. Eu vou estar vendo aqui o que eu vou estar fazendo ainda, né? Provavelmente eu vou estar cumprindo essas missõezinhas que eu tenho aqui. E depois eu vou focar nas missões como é que fala? Das facções. Beleza? Deixa o like, se inscreve. Valeu e tchau, tchau.